Hey everyone, it's Amy P here, and I am here today with my fifth episode of the Skin Positivity series. And I have a special guest, Rhayelyn, who is part of our Estee Lauder portfolio team based out of Michigan. And today we are going to discuss her cancer journey and what Clinique products that she has used in her journey that has helped her skin feel better, has built her confidence, and has really helped her calm and soothe her skin during some tough times during her journey. One really quick thing I want to share is Rhayelyn is a survivor, and by the year 2030, there will be 22.2 million cancer survivors in the United States. And that's such a great positive way for us to think about cancer. Unfortunately, it is something that a lot of men and women are going to battle in their lifetime. And I think it's something that we want to make sure that we raise awareness of, but we also want to be positive and know that people like Rhayelyn are going to share their stories that are survivors and how they've really paved the way for self-care. So I'm going to turn it over to Rhayelyn, and she's going to go ahead and share her journey. Thank you so much, Rhayelyn, for joining and being so vulnerable and open today. I really appreciate it.
Of course, Amy, and thank you so much for allowing me to speak on behalf of my fellow survivors. So I do want to share a little bit about my journey so you know how I got to where I'm at right now. I was 29 years old and 2 months away from my wedding in 2009. And unfortunately, I found the dreaded word, I found the lump, right? And it was the day before my bridal shower. And as most of you survivors know where this story goes from here. I proceeded to get married, super exciting, came back home from my honeymoon and started the treatment of, radiation, chemo, surgery after surgery. I took steps to be proactive about my journey and did all of the aggressive treatments so that I could be in remission and be cancer-free. That dream came true for a short period of time. And about 2.5 years ago, so let me get emotional, but about 2.5 years ago, I came home from a work trip. And sorry, guys, I had a little cough and didn't think it was anything. The cough got a little worse. So I came back from Arizona from a work trip and found out that the breast cancer had spread to my lungs 9 years later. So again, we go through the treatment. Found out at that point it was stage 4. And so now I'm proud to say that I'm 2+ years later, standing right here with all the rest of you survivors as a stage 4 cancer survivor. So I share with you the story because there is hope. And my motto is, if my story and being vulnerable about my story helps someone else's journey, I've done my job. So I'm here to share with you a couple of things that just made my journey a little bit easier and to feel positive about your skin. So I'm first going to start off with clarifying lotion. And clarifying lotion, there's a couple of ways that are beneficial for us going through some troubled times with our skin. There is good news about that too. Things do get better after treatments are over, but during that treatment, there are definitely some difficult journeys. So one thing I noticed about my skin is my skin couldn't get enough hydration. It always felt flaky. It always felt peely. The texture didn't feel great. So clarifying lotion, you actually take on a cotton ball and you sweep over the surface of your skin, and it removes all those little flaky dead cells that are sitting there and kind of just holding on. And it makes the skin feel more radiant, which also helps to hold moisture. But a pro tip, I don't know how many of you are going through hot flashes, but it by far is one of the silliest, worst things that you can go through. But taking and having a little sample bottle of this, even next to your bed or in your purse, and holding it on a cotton ball on your pulse points actually calms down hot flashes. So there's witch hazel in our number 2, and it actually just can send a cooling sensation through the pulse of the body to slow down some of that hot flash. So definitely keep a bottle with me just about everywhere.
I'm not looking forward to that.
And I don't wish it upon anyone, but it is a good little moment to take and just have a cooling breather. So that's one of the products that I really do truly believe by. And like I said, skin gets better and the skin starts to have, a better hold of moisture and absorption as some of that treatment goes away. But while you're going through that journey, moisture surge was definitely a key player because this locks and holds moisture in for 100 hours. And this bouncy, smooth texture can be used on little areas that just get dry. And it has a cooling sensation for those little flaky areas, but it also just holds in moisture on the cuticles, tames the hair. I know some of those pain points is losing hair, but guess what, guys? It comes back.
And it come back purple.
Yeah, it does not come back purple. Good point. Unless you choose it to. So some of those pain points are those little flaky areas, using that as a 5-minute mask, putting it as in your fridge as a little cooling sensation. But the most vulnerable product that I can share with you guys today, and this product literally saved my skin and saved some of those harder days. So when you go through radiation, it is definitely a burn. You know, you are getting sunburned from lasers to kill those cancer cells. For me, it was 33 1/3 days in a row, right? Day after day after day, hitting that spot of the skin, just getting burned and burned and burned. And they tell you to moisturize, but with sunburned skin, you don't want to touch it. You don't want to put moisturizer on. So Moisture Surge Spray was my savior because it is an instant spray of hydration. You can take and spray on the areas of burned skin, and it holds and locks in moisture, but it also feels very cooling. So when skin is so burnt and you don't want to touch it, this is a great way to spray instant hydration onto the skin and hold and lock that in. So definitely having that with you in your bag as you're taking your clothes off, getting that radiation, popping your clothes back on, providing a little moisturization between the skin and the clothes. You can probably hear a common theme, and it's dry, 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 dehydration, right? The skin is being sucked of its natural moisture. So I always had a lip balm with me, and even now more so that we're having facial coverings, Moisture Surge Lip provides a clear barrier that you can't get enough of for those dry, dehydrated lips. And I was trying to drink lots of moisture, lots of water, lots of hydrating products, but some of the taste buds change, and water doesn't always taste good to you. And you have to find something that tastes good for your senses. So having some hydration on those lips definitely helps when you can't get enough of your water. Okay, you've probably been looking at me this whole time and thinking, is she crazy, or we only have one brow on? It is definitely when I lost my hair. Unfortunately, only about 7 hairs came back on the side. So I left my brow the way that I do it with a couple of key products from Clinique, but this is what it looks like without. There is
amazing.
And the reason I share that with you is because the eyes are really the frame to the face. And when you maybe have to pop on a hat or a wig, or you don't have your hair, every bit of femininity helps. Yeah. So take a few key products to make my eyebrow. I use a very skinny brow pencil to like the short little strokes to frame my brow. Then I
creates like hair-like strokes, so it makes like,
yes,
right? Looks like you have more hair there.
Short little strokes, yeah. Can you see?
Yeah.
See it as well. There you go.
Yeah.
Short little hair strokes because it's a very fine tip. And so I take and I frame the brow. So that's what I get to get the outline there. And then I take our brow keeper, which has a creamier tip to it and a spoolie on the other end. And that gives more of the sensation of shorter filling in strokes. And then I comb through if I get any additional. And I will give you some advice for brows is if you put a little bit more on, this spoolie will lift it right off. So you can start a little heavier, not to be afraid, but I finish it off with our brow uplifting for brows. So it has a pencil on the other end and a highlighter on the other end. And this actually gives me, it is an angled tip, gives me that full.
Gives you a bushy brow.
Yes. So I know that definitely makes me feel, it's like a little nap. I look like I'm awake on one side versus the other, but you can definitely fake having those brows. So I love that you let me join for a few of these key pieces, Amy. And I hope what you have learned out of this is there's light at the end of the tunnel. There are some key products that'll help you through your journey and feel good about yourself. and take a moment to join in a little self-care.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, you know, if you're a survivor or you're supporting somebody that's a survivor or going through a journey right now, we'd love to hear how you've supported them or what products Clinique has helped them in the comments below. Because we're always willing to grow and learn as a brand and how we can support anyone going through their journey and really supporting recovery and celebration of these battles that these lovely men and women are facing every day, and celebrate their journeys and the triumph over that, and just waking up feeling happy, healthy, and with a smile on their face. Rhayelyn, thank you so much for joining me and being so open and vulnerable. And really, the Skin Positivity series is about feeling confident in the skin, even though if you have certain skin goals, skin journeys, you know, I think it's really important for everyone to love the skin that they're in and treat it well. So take care of some of that self-care. And thanks so much again for tuning in for Skin Positivity. And we will talk to you everyone soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Rhayelyn.